Okay. Okay. Are you, when you say reform, does reform include like vouchers and charter schools? Are you for or against them? Where are you on?
Well, charter schools I do not believe in because they take public funding and they don't necessarily allow the public to go to their schools. You have to, many times you have to meet certain requirements and get certain grades on tests to get in. I believe that vouchers can be a beneficial system because it can allow certain students who otherwise wouldn't be able to go to a good school to go there. However, I believe that if we can increase funding and reform education and we can make all schools better, it won't be as necessary.
When you say you're going to raise the pay of teachers, do you mean just for the ones that are at public schools or for every single teacher, like the ones you've been working at? Right.
Well, let's start with public school teachers because we're funding public schools. As the government is putting money into their schools, while private schools are paying tuition for their schools. So we're going to start with just public school teachers.
Statistically speaking, the United States is one of the countries that leads in funding for their educational system, yet still is lacking in the rankings of educational standards. Other than funding, how would you help to improve the U.S.'s rankings in math and science specifically?
Well, I would definitely make sure that, students have the ability to learn math and science from an early age, as early an age as possible. I think we need to start increasing the amount of high-level learning at an early age in order to stimulate interest and intelligence.
If you're teaching students at a high level, at a young age, how do you believe that will stimulate interest if they're not comprehending the material at such a young age?
Well, it's certainly possible that not every student will be interested or be able to comprehend certain high levels of learning. I think that overall it will be beneficial. I'm not saying that every student has to be an AP student. I'm just saying that the overall amount of math and science and the level of that math and science at an early age should be increased.
Would you change the ways that students are taught, like to the ways that they're taught, like in the countries that are higher level than us, like in rank, or?
I believe that every American should have the ability to get the same education as every other American. I don't think that we should put certain students in certain programs just because they are doing well in those programs. I think everyone has the right to pursue their own interests and have the same opportunities.
Where is the funding coming from all this? Like, that's a lot of teachers to increase pay on.
I agree, and I'm increasing the taxes to 39% on all those making $450,000 or greater. So it's going to come from that.
I'd rather have the students ask.
Yes.
You said that you're increasing higher level learning at a younger age. Does that include foreign languages? Because the United States is one of the only countries not to teach foreign languages from a young age.
I believe that that is a very important thing. I know a lot of other countries speak their native language and English. However, I think math and science comes first because I want to make sure our country benefits. But I realize that foreign language does certainly benefit our individuals, and that it will help us in the international economy. So yes, I would include that.
Do you think more testing is the key to better education, or do you want less testing, or do you like it where it is now?
Well, I don't think we should increase testing because not all students excel in testing, and I don't think they're an incredible way to measure the value of a student. So I want to make sure that in the classroom that they're learning and that they are learning the material and they can be assessed in different ways, such as maybe projects field projects or written essays. A lot of people do better in writing an essay explaining themselves and explaining that they understand certain topics than they can, doing multiple choice tests.
You mentioned college and how you would like more Americans to attend college because it has a lower rate of people not having jobs. So do you have a plan to make college cheaper for these people?
I do. I would, and I believe the government should grant more loans to students or provide more grants to students who are seeking an education. And I believe that the government should increase funding to these institutions on the condition that they lower tuition costs.
Do you think there needs to be more standards placed on teachers to become teachers? Or do you think the systems are right now?
Well, I think that it definitely would be beneficial to make, getting a teaching degree more difficult, because people who want to be a teacher are going to be a teacher. If it's tough to get a teaching degree, people aren't just going to say, I'll be a teacher. People who want to be a teacher will be a teacher, and people who are talented can become teachers that way.
About 77% of all students have been verbally bullied while in school. What actions would you take to eliminate this?
Well, I definitely want to support commercialized advertisements to demonstrate how incredibly significant bullying is in America. In other nations, for example, they have commercials for car safety that are just incredibly brutal that we don't see in America. And I believe these sorts of commercials are important, and they won't be as visually drastic when it comes to bullying, I believe, because there won't be blood or anything. But I think they need to be, I think the American people really need to understand how significant bullying can be, honestly.
Any other questions? Okay, give them a hand.